But today we're focusing on succession planning in the family business. And, Allison, why don't you kick us off? And, the first thing that we wanted to talk about is, why is it, and Rob, I'm going to come over to you in a second, so you get to sit back and formulate your thoughts when Allison has to juggle this one. But why many family businesses, why don't they have a succession plan right now? We read in the paper that, within the next 5 to 7 years, there's just this giant group of, a number of family businesses that are going to change hands, but only 30% of them have a written, documented, where they know what they're going to do succession plan. Why?
Yeah. So they're hard. I think is the first one. It's not easy to do. It's not like you get out a checklist and go through it and fill in the blanks.
You can't balance that out. You just pull the checkbook out and balance that out.
It doesn't work that way. And when you think about what made the business successful, and then going to identify how can it continue to be successful, who are the players, there's so many dynamics. And then as soon as you get it figured out, it's going to change. Yeah. So it's a process with no real end in sight that can feel very daunting. And if someone is thick in growing a business, planning for succession can feel like it's detracting from the immediate benefits of and growing the business and the immediate financial benefits. So it's something that can feel daunting. And we have some families where they're like, well, the next gen can figure it out. And so when you've got a current business owner who doesn't really feel any desire to do it, I see that less often. More often I see it, I don't know where to begin. And so the overwhelmingness can paralyze people.
Right. It makes it easy to put things on the back burner, especially, but I do like what you said, when you're growing the business, I'm in there running it. That's where my juice, that's where my energy has come from all these years. And you want me to talk about giving up the ghost, and not, yeah. Rob, comments, thoughts?
Sure. I agree with Allison. It's hard. That's probably the number one reason. I would add to it that it's also dynamic. It's never done, so to speak. It's constantly changing and evolving. And that's a hard concept for a lot of, whether you're a family business or not, just to implement succession planning at the board level or at the organizational level. It's difficult work. And quite honestly, I don't think business leaders think about succession plan as strategy, but that's what it is. Yeah. It's nothing more than part of the human element, the leadership element of your business strategy. And if you subscribe to the fact that businesses are living organisms, then you have to be compelled to make succession planning strategy top of your list as the leader. The other reason, just to build on maybe Michael, where you're going a little bit, is leaders tend to have a propensity to put their identity in their role. Okay, and so a leader of a business, of a family business, he's built that organization up. Maybe he was the first gen or second gen, but he's built that business up. He has a success model like Allison talked about. That doesn't mean that's going to be the success model for the future. And that business leader might actually understand that. But the big objection I get to from the business leader is, but what am I going to do when I'm no longer here? I mean, who am I going to be? Yeah. And so there's this identity conflict that's not true, but it becomes true because that leader keeps telling himself over and over and over, oh, I'm the founder of the AMCO business. And so if I'm no longer the founder CEO, then I'm nobody and I have no purpose or role. And so that's really the primary objections that I deal with in succession.
I want to take a detour on what you just said there. Not a detour, but I just want to add to that. wasn't in our programming as we put this together. But think about what you just said. The owner's identity, oftentimes, not always, it's a percentage of the time, is built around that business. And one of the things that I have seen and that is scary is right up at that moment. I'm 2 years from that transition. We're making payments, the things are happening, and without having the conversations about who am I going to be after this, decisions get made that they wouldn't have done 5 years ago the same way. And so things like starting another company that there's no way that company will ever be profitable. They would have never bought that company. They never would have done any of that work otherwise, but because they don't have that clear path to where I'm going, right?
Yep.
Decision-making gets cloudy. So just a cautionary piece. It's not everybody. We don't see it every single time, but I'm working with a case right now. That's the case. And it's, I can definitely see that person is nervous, and we tried to have these conversations, and it was just a conversation that they didn't want to have. You follow me? And now it's coming out.
Yeah, because let me just finish that up. That thought is because succession planning doesn't happen because of fear, right? Because I'm afraid, and not only is it hard, but I'm also fearful. I'm going to lose control. Whoever my successor is going to be may not be the best qualified, may not be the most equipped, or I don't have anybody in my family. So if they're not in my family, then they can't even exist in this world. So there's all of those internal conversations that happen with that leader that aren't true, but for them, it becomes truth. And so as a trusted advisor, you have to build that rapport and relationship to be able to peel the onion back somewhat to get the succession planning started and open to.